Hello everyone. I heard a very interesting phrase this week. I had no idea what it meant. Maybe you will. This is ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. Ring any bells? I looked it up. And it's an evolutionary theory from the late 1800s, developed by a scientist named Haeckel, when he observed, from his observations of embryos and embryonic development. Looking at the embryos in the early stages of chickens and humans, both had these gill slits and this arched neck that are homologous. That means they're the same, identical to what are found in fish. Does this mean that chicks and humans have the same ancestors way back in the evolutionary, way back there? This is what he decided. And how he formulated this idea was that the development of embryos, that's what ontogeny means, recapitulate. So to recapitulate means to go back over, to come back through. It's replaying phylogeny. And phylogeny would be the genetic history, the ancestors of the evolutionary process. Where did chicks and humans evolve from? And this theory had immediate appeal because it could give all kinds of answers. Well, what were our ancestors, and what was common to both, mammals and birds and reptiles? Are just so useful for sorting everything out and for making sense of everything. Turned out that this idea that it wasn't accurate, that there's all kinds of stages along the way that don't reflect any sort of evolution. But the idea itself ended up being applied in other areas. For example, in that lecture that I referred to last week about Robinson Crusoe, when he starts shipwrecked on the island, he begins hunting and gathering, and then he starts planting, it's agriculture, and then he starts making things, it's industry. So in a sense, the lecturer was saying that Robinson Crusoe sort of recapitulated the course of human development. And that's where I actually heard this phrase. Now, it's so fascinating to me how we want to make sense of everything in our world, how we observe and we notice things and we want to find solutions and understand how does everything fit together. I think we are sense-making machines of a sort. For cognitive scientists, they find all the evidence and the mechanisms and how we do that in our brain, in our mind. And they're making so many astounding discoveries about our neural pathways and bioelectricity. I listened to some interesting lectures. There's someone called Michael Levin who's involved in artificial intelligence and makes something called anthrobots. I mean, it's really endlessly fascinating what people can discover and where our discoveries can lead us. And I'm also curious about how the ground, like where do we come from when we're wanting to understand something? Do we have what is our sense of the world? What is our sense of knowledge? What is our sense of our place in the world? Now this phrase, ontogeny, recapitulates phylogeny. I wonder whether in some sense we have access to the knowledge that's informed previous generations, that we can kind of feel in ourselves and understand how we've arrived at various discoveries and various ideas. And is it all at our fingertips? Is it all waiting for us to discover? Are we capable of, recapitulating this vast store of knowledge and then reaching beyond and going beyond, as knowledge is infinite and our possibilities are infinite?